only on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you're playing with power.
Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and this time we're going to look at game number 10 in our 20 for the Nintendo Entertainment System series, and this is probably the most celebrated franchise of Konami's, or at least this is the first game in that franchise. But this was created or released in North America by Konami in 1987, and this is Castlevania, the very first Castlevania. Now, the Famicom version might have been released in 1986, as was the arcade version versus Castlevania. But the NES version is what really turned the world on to Castlevania. But you play as Simon Belmont, and his father, Trevor Belmont, appeared as well in the Castlevania series. But your goal is to go through 6 levels and reach Dracula at the end. Touching any enemy will hurt you. You may lose just 2 bars of life, or you might lose 4 of them. And we're going to go ahead and get started. There, unfortunately, is no Konami code. As far as I know, you cannot use it in this game. It will have no effect. But we'll go ahead and get started. The protagonist, Simon Belmont, has a whip, and he can collect 2 whip icons to lengthen the whip. And there are hidden treasures in the game, and there's the first. You jump over the entrance to the castle, and you can pick up a 1,000-point bag. The treasures you could collect that are hidden are, I think, anywhere between 1,000 to 4,000 or so. There are candles all over the game, and each one you whip will yield something. Now, you see these hearts floating around. The hearts are basically your weapons, the amount of weapons you can throw. And you see at the top center, that is my weapon. That's not a whip. You just use the attack button to whip. There's also sometimes hidden items inside certain blocks that you can whip. And you can change what's called your sub-weapon. And to use the sub-weapon, you push up an attack. And the sub-weapon that I have right now is the holy water. I believe that's what it's called. I've heard other people call it like Greek fire or a firebomb or something. And there will be various junctures where you go through a door to get to the next area of the stage that you're on. Or they call it a stage instead of an area. There are some blocks that you can whip, and there will be energy restoring food inside. And that can restore, I think, half of a full life meter. And here is another secret treasure here. Sometimes you'll duck, sometimes you'll stand still for a little while. Whatever. But for whichever sub-weapon you collect, you might be able to collect an item that will let you throw 2 at once or 3 at once. And they will be shown in Roman numerals, 2 or 3. And we'll look at that later. There will be money bags that you can get. They'll give you various point values. There can be a jar that will, or a vase, that will give you invincibility for like 4 or 5 seconds. And we are going to face our first boss. And he is a giant vampire bat. He's very intimidating looking, and there we got a double shot. But if you have the axe, you can waste him in pretty quick time. You might not even get hit. Ooh, I just barely avoided getting hit. And then each boss that is defeated leaves behind this red gem, and once you collect it, then the level has ended, and you'll get bonus points for your hearts remaining, and bonus points for your time remaining. You will die if your time runs out, but you generally really have plenty of time. Here is another weapon that we picked up. This is a boomerang. You'll have to explore, and there's another hidden treasure. You'll have to explore the game and find out which sub-weapons work best on which bosses. I decided to pick the firebomb up. It works well, or the holy water or whatever. It works well against the boss on this stage. There is a clock sub-weapon that you can pick up, and there was another double. The clock actually uses 5 hearts at once, but it will give you like 3 or 4 seconds of time that the enemies are frozen. And the first 2 bosses in the game that will work on. And here we see some of the most hated enemies in all of Castlevania. There's another hidden treasure. The Medusa heads. They are annoying, but they have a pattern that you can kind of figure out. And this part up here, they'll start to annoy you and try to knock you into a pit. You'll have to learn how Simon gets hit in this game, and whether it'll knock him upwards or backwards. That's really important to know, because you could be standing in front of a pit, and if the enemy hits you right, they can just knock you right back into the pit and instantly kill you. And you'll want to learn where those pieces of meat, I'm not sure if it's chicken or it's pork or what it's supposed to be, but now I have the clock. That meat will again restore, I think, like half of your life meter. And here's the Medusa heads again. In other Castlevania games, the Medusa heads can turn you to stone if they touch you, and you're immobile for a little while. Fortunately not in this one, and we have these descending spike platforms that will instantly kill you if they touch you. There's hidden treasures that I did not uncover in this game. By the end of this video, you'll just have to explore them for your own. These annoying snake pillars are kind of an annoyance for Castlevania fans. But you know that they'll spit just 2 fireballs when they start turning pink. You'll get an extra life at 30,000 points. Other point values, I'm not entirely sure. I think there might be one at 70,000 or 80,000 as well, and other ones. You can farm the ghosts on the first stage, or at some point when they start to appear, by using a firebomb and taking out 3 at once or more. Just farm them over and over for points and build up some extra lives. Now here is Medusa, and I'm going to use the clock on her, and it freezes her. But bosses after this, it does not work. And you can keep whipping even after you've touched that gem. Keep whipping and jumping. But yeah, this was a smash hit when it came out, and it's easy to see why. It is still a great playable game. But starting especially on stage 5 or level 5, the difficulty starts to kick you in the jewels and stomp on what's left. These hunchbacks initially annoyed me when I first played this, but you can kind of figure out how they'll jump. If you're really close to them, then they'll jump high, and if you're far away, then they'll just jump down low and come towards you real quick. And when they get right in front of you, they like to jump over you. Whoops, got kind of clumsy with the jumping there. Simon drops quickly after he plops off a ledge. And now we have these crows, or maybe they're ravens. Sometimes the skeletons will threaten to knock you into a pit, into the abyss, if you jump over at the wrong time. Ah, crap. Fortunately, I got bumped backwards onto a platform. There's another hidden thing coming up here. You drop off from that ledge up there, right here, and there we go. Yeah, like I said, there's generally a... got some nice points there. There's generally a... what was I going to say? Yeah, 1,000 to 4,000, I think, from those hidden treasures. And there might be one or two that give a 1-up. I don't remember for sure. And I can't remember where those are, and I don't think I got any in this game. And here's another hidden trick. Duck over these 2 blocks here. And you'll get that bag right there. I decided not to pick up the clock. Ah, crap, my timing was bad there. Yeah, the firebomb or holy water. I like calling it holy water. Yikes, don't let them knock you into the abyss, but the holy water likes to burn enemies. Ooh, and I got a triple shot. I can throw 3 at once now. But the holy water likes to burn enemies, so it can continue to burn for like a couple seconds as it hits them. If you sit still right when you see one of the ravens, it'll eventually start moving out of there, and then you could kind of react accordingly. There are some great Game Genie codes for this game, and we'll look at that later. That part there you want to whip as you jump across, so you'll nail that skeleton and he won't knock you back into the pit. Ah, crap. Yeah, if you're able to take out multiple enemies with one sub-weapon, you'll get extra bonus points added up. And on this block, you'll want to get that meat. You'll get surrounded by 2 mummies here. And yeah, I have that triple holy water. Very useful against these guys, because like I said, they like to try to gang up on you, and if you can get through one and fight them both from one side, then that's a good strategy. Don't know how how the weather is going for you right now, but where I live, it is really frickin' hot. Doing everything I can to keep my temperature tolerable inside. My dog's panting and not feeling all that great. Making sure she's hydrated. Now we're on the 4th level. The difficulty is not super hard. One thing you gotta watch out for is when you go across the water on that platform that the bat doesn't knock you off. But starting on level 5, the difficulty starts to really ramp up at one point. You have to duck here so that you don't hit your head on those on the cave or the stalactites or whatever. Eventually we'll be seeing a whole bunch of the hunchbacks, and eagles will drop them, and you can whip the eagles, and here we go. This had such great music. I mean, for the very first Castlevania game, and there they are. Ooh, and I got an invincibility jar, or vase. But yeah, the music is so awesome in this game. Konami did most of their Castlevania games really well. I wasn't crazy about Castlevania 64. Simon's Quest wasn't bad. It was actually a pretty good game, and it had some of the best music. Now these Skeledragons, using the firebomb is triple shot firebomb is definitely very useful against them. You get an extra life at 80,000 as well. I wasn't sure if it was 70 or 80. The dagger is the crappiest weapon in this game for sure. But yeah, here and there will be those Skeledragons, and you'll want to see if you can't firebomb them enough. They'll leave a whole bunch of goodies for you, hearts or maybe bonus point bags. If you can whip or destroy an enemy's projectile, you can often get some special goodies out of that, like a new subweapon or something else, maybe a double, triple. There are small hearts which give you 1 heart on your heart meter, and there are big hearts that give you 5. And this is Frankenstein and the Hunchback. And if you have triple shot, he is super easy. Just bomb where he's standing over and over and over and over again until he's dead. And you can do that for a lot of bosses in this game. Just keep bombing them with the triple, with the holy water, just over and over and over, and they're going to be kind of stuck in place while they get burned over and over again, and you'll defeat them easily. Now this is stage 5, or level 5. And yeah, it says stage 13, but it's like each room that you go into is a stage. Ah, crap. Those bone-throwing skeletons are kind of annoying. And we also have these red skeletons. Not Red Skeleton, the comic, but the red skeletons that they never die. You whip them and eventually they'll get back up again. But boy, the music in this game was pretty damn incredible. It's still got a bunch of tunes that I sometimes kind of whistle to myself. Yeah, I can't remember where the hidden treasures were in this, other than that block that you can whip. You have to play this a lot to learn the behavior patterns, movement patterns of the enemies, because it's really critical to avoid being hit, especially late in the game. And there's another chunk of food, slab of meat. There's been various types of meat in the Castlevania series. There's chicken, there's pork, steak, all sorts of stuff. I'm not entirely sure what that one was supposed to be. Now, I really hate these knights. They take so many hits to destroy. And their shields are super strong. They can block. If you have the boomerang, they can block the boomerang. And there he gave me an X, which I don't want. The boss of this area is Death, or the Grim Reaper, and Death will make an appearance in many Castlevania games. It's kind of a staple of the franchise. I definitely picked this up shortly after its release on the NES, and I was not disappointed. This is a fantastic freaking game. There was the second one, which was Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, and Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse on the NES. And this was my favorite of those games on the system. Yeah, if you can kind of bait the Axe Knight into standing in a certain position and throwing a firebomb, you can do some serious damage on him. But yeah, he's one of my least favorite enemies in all of this game, Castlevania. Whenever you see a door in this game, you're going to have to go through it. There's not like an alternate path. So you have to take stairs down to it and go through. And this will be stage 15 here. But yeah, this guy will throw two fireballs at you, and you can whip the fireballs. And like I said before, you can whip enemy projectiles, and you might get hearts. You might get a whole new sub-weapon. Either by whipping them or using a sub-weapon on their projectiles, you might get some interesting stuff. And that's helpful to know, because that can also be true for some of the bosses. They might shoot projectiles, and you might be able to get extra hearts by whipping them or throwing a sub-weapon at them. But yeah, I really hate these guys. They will throw axes high or low, and you don't know for sure which direction they'll go, high or low. But you can duck under the high ones. Ooh, I'll take that invincibility vase. Thank you very much. But man, those guys take a lot of punishment. And here we're coming up towards the Grim Reaper, or Death. Yeah, boy. I hate this boss, I really do. He's got all these annoying scythes. They'll pause for a second, and then they'll start moving towards your location. He's very, very, very tough. Unless you had the triple holy water. And if you drop him right where he's gonna land to start to start the stage, or to start where he appears, if you firebomb that triple quickly, he might not even have time to send some scythes after you. But those scythes are so annoying. You can destroy them, but they get replaced very quickly, and they appear in a different location. And I decided not to use the boomerang, and really, the boomerang is good against the Grim Reaper or Death. If you don't have triple firebomb or triple holy water. Yeah, triple holy water is a pretty good goal to go after. The final boss of the game, Dracula, is one you do not really want to use holy water on. And boomerang is good on him too, and we'll look at that later. It would have been kind of nice if the Konami code would have given you like 30 extra lives on Castlevania. But yeah, the difficulty just really starts to spike right with the Axe Knights. And get on the upper left or upper right platforms. I'm not sure that really gives you any kind of advantage. But when you die, I might not have mentioned this, when you die you will lose your sub-weapon and you will have to collect a new one. And you will have your amount of hearts restored to 5, I think. Whoops, crap. Yeah, I have no sub-weapon, and it's not good to not have a sub-weapon against Death. The boomerangs are really quite good because he moves around a lot, and a flying boomerang will likely nail him at some point or another. And if you have double or triple, then you're really probably gonna nail him by a flying boomerang. It flies across and then returns. You can catch it, quote-unquote catch it, by jumping or if you didn't jump when you threw it, just simply standing in its way. But it'll still cost you a heart every time you fling it. Yeah, for the very first game in a franchise, Konami really did well with Castlevania. And I still hum some of its tunes. If you see the sub-weapon, crap! If you see the sub-weapon go through the Axe Knight's shield, it'll kill him when it comes back. Hey, I got double shot. Let's try death once more. Now that I've got double boomerangs, I might have a better time. But yeah, just kind of learn that the boomerang or the scythes. Try to hone in on your location, and once they're close, they might stop, and then they'll come back and attack you. And you have to destroy them all even after you've beaten death. They can still kill you. Yeah, the death and those stupid Axe Knights are kind of my kryptonite for this game. They really get under my skin. Now this is the final stage, and this part is a pain in the ass. This is the walkway where you have to get past, it's like 5 of the giant vampire bats from the first stage, that boss. Ah, crap. The second, and I think the 4th bats, it might be a good idea to get hit before you try to get past them. That way you can quickly sneak by while you have invincibility for like 3 seconds. But it's really hard to get past those guys unless you have the clock. You can freeze them with the clock. Or the stopwatch, or whatever you want to call it. And we have eagles and hunchbacks again. But you'll need to go up these stairs here. So don't mess around too much with them. There, I got the clock. The clock on this stage will at least freeze those eagles and hunchbacks when you see them again, and you will. They are just past the wall to the left. Yikes. Yeah, this game is really difficult for first-timers. And there I used the clock real quick so I could sneak by and go down here. And this is the clock tower that appeared a lot in the Castlevania games. Yeah, let's just quickly get by because I don't have much life left. Some enemies will take off 2 blocks of your life meter, and some will take off 4. Once you beat Dracula and start the game over, then I think all the enemies will at least take off 4 blocks when they hit you. The game gets harder. Use the boomerang against Dracula. Dracula has 2 forms. And his second form might actually be a little tiny bit easier than the first form. I don't know. I don't like this form. But he can appear anywhere on the screen. And if he appears while you're walking by, he'll hit you. I hate that on this boss. But yeah, the boomerang is the best to have against Dracula on either form. Now you have to whip his head in order to hurt him, or throw a sub-weapon at it. And his fireballs, the 3 fireballs that he shoots, you want to be in the right position to nail them. You can take out 2 or all 3 at once with one perfectly placed whip strike. If you don't feel like you have enough time to hit his head and his fireballs, just take out the fireballs and wait for your next chance. but he can appear anywhere on the screen and hit you. So if you just stand still waiting for him to appear, he might just appear on you and you won't have enough time to get away. It's not a bad idea to just throw a boomerang randomly in the air on a boss that moves around the screen like this, because eventually you'll probably hit him. You'll be collecting enough boomerangs or hearts to not super bad worry about running out of hearts, and you can whip his projectiles and possibly get more hearts. And now this is his second form, and he's a giant skeleton. Now the only thing that really sucks is he also spits out 3 fireballs at once, but if you time your whip strike or your sub-weapon, you can nail them all. And sometimes, only sometimes, he will do a super high jump, and you'll be able to get underneath him if he does that and start attacking him from the other side. But his short jumps, they're not high enough for you to be able to get underneath him and not get hit. See? That really sucks. Oh, a double. Well, maybe I'll kill him before. Good. And that is the end of Castlevania. I have beaten it. I'd beaten it before. You do have infinite continues, which is nice. And you have 4 total lives instead of just 3, as it was the usual for games back then, at least. And we see Castlevania crumble. Now this is goofy. This is the ending credits, but they give goofy fake names. Transfishers, Valam Stoker, James Banana, Christopher B. What? Very, very silly. But Boris Karloff, what? I just wanted to mention real quick that in the near future, I will be doing a new series of videos with my brother, and his YouTube username is Coach Shiley, and we will be doing restaurant reviews. So look for that. Unfortunately, there's going to be some salty language in it. My brother works at a car lot, and they have pretty salty language, the employees do. But check for that. We'll have some cool restaurants we'll be visiting. And now we're going to start this all over. And there's more hidden treasures that will appear in new places. There will be bats that appear more often, and Medusa heads that appear more often. And there's another hidden treasure, and it's the Gradius Moai statue. And yeah, there's the crappy dagger that we didn't see yet, and it's awful. It's just garbage. It's weak. It only shoots 1 at a time. But yeah, it's a good idea to firebomb or holy water multiple ghosts here. I always thought they looked like little statues of liberty or something. But you can take out 3 at once, and you can really start building up your points and collecting extra lives. Just keep doing it until your time runs out, until you get maybe about 10 or 11 or so extra lives. But it's not a bad idea to do that. Just keep farming those enemies. Sometimes if you get them to if you play around with the edges of the screen moving back and forth, you might be able to make more than just 3 ghosts at a time. Something to try. And there I managed to build a first extra life over 30,000. Oops. But that's the way I often start my game, is just farm those ghosts as much as I can, and start building up some extra points. Well, that was Castlevania, the very first game of the series, and it was game number game number 10 in our 20 from the Nintendo Entertainment System series. I hope you've enjoyed this series, and like I was saying, there are some great Game Genie codes for Castlevania. Keep weapons when you die, weapons don't use hearts, infinite health, super jump, enemies always drop items when killed, whip anywhere to hit everything, candles and enemies. Pretty darn nice. Well, that was Castlevania, game number 10 in our 20 from the Nintendo Entertainment System series, the very first game in the series. Well, I thank you for watching, and I hope you join me soon for game number 9 in our 20 from the Nintendo Entertainment System series. Stay cool, everybody. It's really hot. Keep hydrated, keep drinking electrolytes, and I'll see you soon for game number 9. Bye-bye, folks.